Yeah, let's get into it. We have an amazing guest this week.
Yes, we're so excited. He's known for playing Simba in Disney's The Lion King on Broadway and Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations. Please welcome Jelani Remy.
Hey. I have been listening to this and I first thought that the dog thing was my intro and I was going to be pissed.
No!
You know him, you love him.
We've
He's
been
the
searching
best
for a
dog.
We've been searching for a dog and boy, have we found him.
Ah,
Oh my gosh.
No.
our little puppy.
But then that got me thinking that a friend of mine actually did just get a dog. She got this beautiful sheepish dog hound thing
Oh.
and sent it back the next day.
Why?
Send it back the next day. They too much anxiety. They did it on a whim. They didn't think about it or something. But you had to have thought about it to bring it home.
Oh.
And for us to all buy gifts for this
The
dog.
thing is, like a lot of dogs that you adopt. What did you say?
We have bought gifts for the dog.
Oh,
There was a receiving line.
You
There was a
had
receiving
a,
line.
you had a shower.
We had a dog shower. A roarer.
How?
Well-
roarer.
Well, like when you adopt a dog, a lot of times they come with a lot of trauma and baggage, and like it's a lot to adjust. It's the first little while when you adopt a dog, it's a big change. So maybe.
Mm-hmm.
they
So,
didn't know that.
speaking of traumas, yes, we're actors.
I thought this was a dog
Exactly.
podcast.
We're actors, right?
Exactly.
Jelani, you're an East Coast man. You're from New Jersey, correct?
Correct. I hail from New Jersey.
All right, and it wasn't a short jog for you to jump into this profession, geographically speaking. How was it growing up in Jersey?
Geographically close. However, my parents were super strict, so I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I didn't see shows unless they were a school field trip or I was able to go in college.
Wow.
Because my parents they didn't understand Broadway. They're from the islands. What is Broadway? Oh, you want to do what? What?
Where are your parents from?
Trinidad and Barbados.
Wow.
So they have an old school melody. So when I came in like Annie singing on top of my bed, they were like,
Yeah.
football immediately. So it was different. So I was a late bloomer into the theater world, but I just loved it so much. And I loved how it made me feel. I loved like playing pretend with my friends and which was essentially acting. And like one of my most vivid memories, because I had to sort of hide it or suppress it like Cinderella up in the cat, like up locked away. I had to do it in my playroom by myself. So I would like do all these scenes. And I remember I was a school teacher, but when I tell you that I was like the most like I had papers to grade. I had after school projects to be done. I had exams. I had stuffed animals in seats. I was talking to Chris to stop talking in my class. Like it was full out. And
you had to do homecoming court this semester, and
I was elementary, so no, there was no homecoming court.
Oh, good. Okay.
Jelani, are you doing your homework?
like-
Well, I can't. I'm grading others, Mom. Jeez Louise.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. But that was acting, that was me sort of playing, and that was me playing a role. And that little did I know that was me sort of figuring out my way. And I saw my first show in the 4th grade, and it was they took us to see the Civil War. What a horrible show to show 4th graders.
4th graders?
Because it went with our social studies sort of thing.
Right.
And I think the Civil War was just out. Right. People were talking about it. The way that I napped through that entire show, I woke up, it was over. And so that was my first day. Then I got to see Annie Get Your Gun. And I was like, wow, this is lively. And that was wonderful. And then I sort of realized what shows were and how there were different shows and there were different, types of shows. And it was that was sort of like my stepping stone into the actual theater world of seeing it.
Isn't it interesting that we start so young with these things? I did the same thing. I'm sure Adam too is we're watching movies, and this thing is sort of lighting within us, and it starts so young. We talk to so many people. It's like, oh yeah, I was 6, I was 8, I was 10. This is what I kind of wanted to do. I was singing in the bathroom. I was picturing myself getting interviewed or being on a set or something as a young child, and it just keeps going. And then you eventually find yourself as an adult, you're just 20 years later with the same interests.
Well, here's the thing, I sort of like suppressed it. You go.
Oh, no. You are our esteemed guest. Please go.
Go.
You've been dog shopping. I don't want to take this money from you. I don't want to do that.
No, as I say, I had
Oh.
barrels of action figures as a kid, and I would just be in my room. And in my head, it looked like a movie whenever, when I was playing with my action figures, and I would daydream about it in class. And, I wanted to do anything but school. I was just pretending and, it was such a part of my
Yeah, I would put
childhood
my
was
action
playing with
figures.
toys.
I put my army guys in like my formations of Thriller, that I saw. And,
Oh
like,
my
really
god.
put them in like pyramid skin. Oh, what's happening? So
This is a bad tableau, guys. Change it up. Let's go.
You know what? And we're gonna move. Open
that window.
Yeah,
Open that window.
We need more
Where's
wind.
Kevin? Where's his understudy?
But then I think about like, what if my parents sort of saw that and was like, let's throw this kid into dance class? Where would I be then? Or throw me into a vocal lesson? I took piano lessons. That was a great thing. But like, then I think, you know what? No, because that wouldn't have given me the passion that I have for it now, I don't think. Yes, it would have given me wonderful training, but like there's a certain passion and thirst that I then developed for the craft because of the lost time, that I wanted to really understand it and get good at it and make my own sort of version of it. It's an ever-changing process, but like it was my own sort of like, this is your path.
Yeah. So you channeled your limitations to not be a liability, but more of an asset, where you used it to fuel yourself to go farther, to go faster, to go bigger.
Yeah. So like I then picked up that football, and I was on the football team for a while, and ended up doing theater there. So I figured out how to get out of conditioning was to do impersonations of the coaches. They loved it. So they would call me out, like, Remy, come over here. Come over, do him. And I would do his impersonation. And I then had to not run. I then had to not crab walk. Okay. So that's how I figured it out.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And like they embraced it. It was my thing. And then I would be sent up to go sing the national anthem in my cleats and my garb, running up the steps, singing it, and then coming down and playing the game. And I remember my coach saying, listen to me, son. You go up there and sing, but sing it plain. Don't do any of that hooda stuff, okay? I like it plain. And I was like, okay, that's direction. He's my director.
Good note. Thank you. Good note.
Thank you. No runs. Thank you.
Did you experience any flack from, say, your fellow students or any coaches that, because I shared that. I mean, at the end of I think I mentioned it in another interview where we lost the game that would lead us into this championship run. And I was like skipping off the field because I was like so ready to take improv classes. I was like, I was the only one who was excited that we lost. Did you experience that, knowing that everybody kind of knew who you were?
So remember how I told you about the army figurine formations and stuff? So I then got into cheerleading. I fell in love with it because that's like, you're performing, you're throwing people around, you're flipping, there's formation changes. How cool. So then I secretly started making the routines for the cheerleaders. So at halftime, I'd be looking to see if they were nailing the choreography while our coach is sort of talking to us. Like, and also, truth be told, I wasn't that great. You know what I mean? So when the time came when the musical was sort of, I didn't get there yet, but I did a musical.
Wait, the football or choreography?
Wait, which one?
Which were you not great at?
Football. I mean, I remember my one play was like the 129 waggle. Like I remember that one because I couldn't remember the plays that well. Probably because I wasn't so invested.
Right.
Of course.
But like a lineman, I was fine because it's just like block,
right,
block.
Right,
but like then they made me a tight end. No silly jokes here. Keep it clean. Keep it cute. Keep it cute.
Can we meet
Adam?
Adam?
Trying
He's raring to go.
Don't be a hound dog, Adam. But then I had to learn plays and direction and things. So like, I remember being in the huddle and I'd be like, they say the play and I'd be like, just go this way. They would draw my route on the football. How cute is that?
That is amazing.
It's like blocking.
But not. Then you gotta like run and catch and like, oof, ouch.
So then, but you were doing plays in high school, yes?
So before then, the plays did not. My first play was in high school. Well, I did like a little stint in that high school musical as a middle schooler, if I may be so bold. I was a Cuban dancer in Guys and Dolls. I was drafted over nonchalant scene. I got my head smashed with a sugar bottle. It was pretty daring. It was pretty great. But my first role was Duty in Grease, and it did not conflict with sports. Second one did not conflict with sports. The third musical was moved, and it conflicted with sports. And my head coach, who talked about the anthem, he was like, "Son, you can quit. Go do this music thing. But let me tell you something. You better be good.
I like it plain.
You better be good." And he let me quit. And thank goodness he did, because
Wow.
it's not something you do. He let me quit. Hindsight, he's like, you weren't a big loss. But he didn't tell me that to my face.
We actually got a little better.
He's like, no harm, no
But
foul.
it gives you that
Okay.
That's great. So you got the
allowance to
blessing.
really go do what you want to do.
It was a pressure off of me, because there was a lot of
Yeah.
pressure to like stay with the team. Panther
It
pride.
is.
You know
it
what
is,
I mean?
man. It is. Yeah. I remember I suffered through so many concussions in football, and I should not have played. I was a nose guard at 5'0".
Oh my
And I
gosh.
would have these headaches, and I'm like, I don't even like this. I desperately want to just perform. That's all I want to do, but I've got to go not only into this place for 8 hours a day, but then for another 3 hours I got to get tossed around a football field.
Okay.
You know, I'm glad
I
you got
mean,
that
has
blessing.
its perks. But yeah, he let me clip those wings
Fly.
and fly.
Yeah, baby.
Is that what happened? Is that the
Awesome.
analogy? Clipping your
I
wings
don't
and
know.
flying? That doesn't sound right.
I think
Spread
so.
my wings and fly, and be part of the theater community, which then led me to community theater, which then led
Right.
me to want to major in theater, which then I did a little conservatory between them that was like, whoa, I really want to do this. And that led me to my collegiate study of theater.
And where did you go?
I went to Montclair State University.
Nice. And you majored in theater?
I was a BFA.
Okay. Did you have a minor?
No, it was theater or bust.
Damn it. Plan
However,
A
I
or
wish-
plan nothing. Right.
Yeah, right. But in hindsight, like I wish I would have did like an education minor, because as I told you before, like that was my jam. And now, thanks to Book It, I am that educator. I do get to, have students and see their growth and plan things for them and see their success and their progressions. And that totally fills a different sort of passion of mine that is, teaching.
That's right. Jelani is one of our coaches for Book It, and he's one of our go-to guys. Awesome. Wealth of information. And you're going to get even more clients this year. Book It's doing great, and we're so happy to like provide this awesome service, and we're happy to have you on. So after college, what happened that got you released?
Well, what happened was a no. I had a
Just
pressure-
Naturally.
You need like 1,000.
Naturally.
No, okay. Well, my first audition was for a show called Hairspray.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. You can't stop my happen. That's not the role I played, but anyway, I auditioned for Hairspray, made it to the very end for Seaweed to be standby or something like that, and I didn't get it. And they said, "Hey, you did a great job," and I was years old,
Uh-huh.
and they were like, "This was a no. However, we'd like to maybe see you for another project." And so that project was High School Musical.
Right, and that went on.
Exactly.
That was going on the road, right?
Yeah, they were mounting it to start. We started in Pittsburgh, and then sort of went on to do a national tour.
Right.
And I got it. So that was a sort of lesson of like, no doesn't mean no; it means not right now.
Exactly.
And getting that role, I mean, what was that process like for you?
I was obsessed with High School Musical, so I was like, oh, they're making a show, cool. But then I realized like the fear that was coming with it. Like I'm leaving everything behind to join this troupe doing the same show. I've never done a show this long before. What's that going to be like? I cried almost every day leading up to it because I was terrified. Because it's all new, and like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I don't like it? What if I miss my mom? You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that were sort of weighing on this young lad going forth into the world. And I remember my parents drove me out there, and they drove me to Pittsburgh, and like we had to say goodbyes. And
how were they reacting to it?
I think that they didn't know what it was. I think they thought it was going to be like a theater camp. You know, like they
We
didn't
packed
know.
we
You
packed
know
your
what I mean? Like
lunch,
they thought I was going
and
to camp. I'll be back soon. Like they didn't
Write us
think
every
that this could
day.
be a profession. Like this
yeah,
was a hobby, you know?
right, right.
This was a hobby. But
But how did you? I want to go back to the fear leading up. How did you surpass that? How did you
my mentor,
quiet
my
it down?
teacher, my college teacher said, his name was Clay James. Jelani, suck it up. Okay? This is it. He told me, don't be a pussy. Is what he said.
Oh my God.
Good heavens!
And I was like, he's
Oh.
right. Don't be, but also like you worked for this. You worked for this. This is yours. Like this is your beginning. This is what you prayed for. Don't block your blessings. And you are enough. You'll see. And as long as you keep open, be smart, and soak it up. Like they chose you for you. They chose you because they saw something in you. So just be you.
And did you find that when you set off, that it wasn't as scary or challenging as you initially thought?
The first rehearsal, I threw up before rehearsal. I was so nervous. But then I got there, and I was just on the outskirts. And there's this thing that the theater community does, and that's connection. And people
Yeah.
want to be there with you because we're a team
Yeah.
together. So when I think they felt my sort of shy nerves, they were like, "Come here, little lamb."
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be okay.
"Come here,
You're
little
one of
guy.
us now.
Oh, you miss your mom? We're your moms now." You know what I mean? And it's that sort of thing the theater family does. That
Yeah.
yeah, that like that that show family. You know, we all were in this together. Do you get it? Okay.
Tommy has no
So
idea what you're talking about.
there's a song called "We're All in This Together" in High School Musical. I was
Yeah,
maybe
I
one.
have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about. Next question.
Ooh.
But
No, I haven't
Jelani,
seen
so
High School
going
Musical.
from high school and college and cheerleading and kind of these, like, I think I went when you got
That
to
was the tools I needed to get me my first job.
but did
That helped me get
college
that first job.
really expand your mind to this thing that you always kind of wanted to be a part of and really go, oh yes, this is what I certainly want to be a part of?
So I am like a sponge and I want to absorb all information and all experiences that I can. So that's what college was for me. I said yes to everything and I still kind
Yeah.
of do it. And it's a struggle, but whatever.
Thanks for saying yes to be on this, by the way.
It's
I
like,
work
that's
for
why
you.
I'm here.
I have to.
You're my boss. But college gave me experiences that I didn't realize were going to be so essential to my life. You know, that being said, like I mean that because I had the opportunity to. I don't know if this is supposed to happen, but one of my professors had a piece that he was presenting, and had us do a reading of his musical that he wrote. Can they do that? They didn't pay us. Can they?
I
Probably.
don't think so.
But anyway, he asked me to choreograph it. And I got to choreograph a piece of work that was not mine, that I had to breathe life into and work with a director and bring a vision to life and a presentation for people that were coming to see it. What a cool experience for a college kid to have. You know, especially I didn't come from a dance background. I just loved making up things and loved formations and loved storytelling with that. And he gave me that opportunity. And I remember another time I was auditioning for a Grand Night for Singing, you know, the musical review. And I didn't get cast. And I was so perplexed and hurt about why I didn't get cast. But my name was on the list, but it was at the bottom with an asterisk. And I was like, am I an alternate? Humbling. Can we talk about that? And he's like, and the
Humbling.
same teacher that told me don't, yeah, that same teacher, I was so hurt because like I like to be that positive energy and that go-to guy, and I was prepared and put me in your show. But he was like, Jelani, I need you for something else. And I was like, well, what is it? And turns out we ended up having a relationship with the Shanghai Theater in China. And two exchange students were coming to our school. And it was my job to teach them the show and put them in it.
Whoa.
Wow.
What a cool experience. Yeah, with the translator and everything, I got to learn it. learn what people did and fit them in and make them feel comfortable and have that experience, which then gave me that brain later on to be a swing, or to be a
Oh
director.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sort of, you learn how things work. And I ended up getting to perform in the show. I got one show, which was great, but more so the experience was something that you, it was incredible. And I didn't know what was happening, but like, what a way to shape you and to groom you for other things in life.
So what
Isn't it?
started out as, oh man, it's not what I wanted, turned into something that was going to form, but you didn't know that.
I had
In
no idea.
retrospect, only you can see in hindsight the power of that, what looked like not an ideal situation. And that's happened to me where I didn't get the role, but I was going to assistant director, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or I got a smaller role. And then there was another project that was shooting then that I wouldn't have gotten if I got a smaller role in this project. So it's all, not fighting the powers that be that set us in a place for a specific reason, and that
Mm-hmm.
probably primed you for a life of not getting your way and having the universe adjust you to this other place that you're better suited for.
And I can also speak on like, since then, every show I've been to gave me that eye to watch everything that goes on.
Right.
And because then when opportunity knocked, I was able to step in. And had I not been ready, I don't think it would then traject me to where I ended up. But it's
Yeah.
because I got that eye to see things and to fit in. I was able to be a swing. I was able to be an understudy. I was able to step into a role. I was able to, dive right in as needed. And that's happened a few times. And I've been so fortunate to have that sort of part of my brain developed to do that.
Because it's a specific person can only do that. I mean, you can't
Oh,
just
yeah.
right? Do you
Yeah.
find do you find that you're a better actor because you've got plates in the back of your head, multiple plates where you're not just focused on acting and this performance and this scene. You're like, hey, I know that part and that part and this part. Does that make your acting better in whatever part that you're currently playing?
I agree, because as an actor, I want to be aware of all things going on, because anything can and will happen. And
Yeah.
it's nice to know what's up, and if something does happen, how the show will go on, but also just to be aware of all people involved. I know I know where you're at. I know where you're standing. And also because theater's alive. And like, what if, like, let's shake it up. Let's do something else. Or like, it makes you a better actor also because it's like the ultimate chameleon, right? Knowing what other people do. And like, it's sort of an acting challenge, and also helps with listening and understanding what the other person's giving or saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are we in terms of your your bookings of bigger shows? You're on your way toward, I believe, Smokey Joe's is next.
No. So I did High School Musical, and
Uh-huh.
that was an opportunity where I was an understudy that then sort of the people were out, and I got to step in because I knew what was going on around me, and I had those opportunities to fill in because that's what I knew. And I then took over a role, and then I did High School Musical 2 after that, and originated a role, which is really cool.
Amazing.
And then from that closing, I then had an audition for Lion King, and I started as the back legs of the rhinoceros,
Hmm.
and then as part of the ensemble, which was really cool, and I loved it. And then I traded with somebody who was a swing that couldn't handle it, and I traded with him, and I became a swing, and he took my track.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was so
Did he
great.
come to you, or did
No,
did
our supervisor came to me and was like, "Do you want to be a swing?" And I was like, "But I won't be in the show every day." And they were like, "Trust me, you'll be fine." And I ended up getting with him, and I learned what 8 different men did or something like that.
Oh my God.
Whoa. They're
I
like, it's
loved
the
it.
Lion
I
King, you'll
loved it.
work. Don't worry about it.
Okay, period. And then I took over Simba. So it was a wonderful progression of like, learning the ropes and getting your practice in and getting your truth told, on stage. So then I did The Lion King for years, and
Yeah, you were there, let's just say, for a string of years
a
with
string of years, and
plural.
then it gave my Broadway
Terrific.
debut.
Right.
So then I came to Broadway, and then I did Smokey Joe's, and that was crazy because it was like you were saying goodbye to this huge chapter of your life,
Right.
and a character that you've gotten so accustomed to, and that you're so sort of used to, and the family you're used to, and the schedule you're used to, and it was tricky to sort of go through that, But what a blessing to hop to another show. Let me tell you about that last day of Lion King for me. Like, it was a whirlwind because I had so many people out there for my last show that I have friends and family and fans and whatnot. Little did they know that that was actually the tech rehearsal for Smokey Joe's. That was our final tech. So I was teching Smokey Joe's in the morning. They let me leave at 3 o'clock to go do my matinee.
Oh
I
my
got to do
gosh.
my last show, have a little shindig in the lobby on Smokey Joe's dinner break, and then go back to tech. So there was no time to process, and I think I love it that way because it was just like, go,
Yeah.
here it is,
Yeah, you don't
here it
have
is.
time to worry. Go, 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 go.
And it was a beautiful thing to go from playing this iconic character to then now playing the iconic character that is Jelani, because that's who I got to play in Smokey Joe's. And they sort
Mm.
of built the show around what we did as individuals. So I was doing something in my wheelhouse. I didn't have to fit into a mold. We got to choreograph it together. Josh Burgos was really amazing with seeing you and then making your you work and figuring that out. So I was comfortable, and it was one of my favorite shows. So I got to do that for a little bit.
I
After
don't want to.
that,
I don't want to graze over Lion King because I know that's one of the prime roles that you've had, especially getting into your career.
mm,
Although Smokey Joe's was probably more exciting for you, like as an artist,
oh, no,
where
no, no,
you're
no.
able to.
Everything I've done has been so monumentally exciting and so monumentally like necessary in my journey. But Lion King for me, like that was my like grad school. That was my college.
Mm.
That was my sort of, let's see how far you can go with this character that you've developed and loved so much. And as you go through real life, how does that affect your performance? How does that grow? How does that make you grow? And how are you still connecting? How are you using it? And how are you sort of staying sort of inspired, motivated, creative, entertaining? How are you pushing yourself? Because you never want to just get it and plateau.
Hmm.
You want to continue to go up and further and try this and try that. And as people come and go, you pull traits from people and pull, different new choices, new ideas. And that's what I loved about it. And even like just sitting at a table doing a table read was one of my favorite things too, because it was just the text and the emotion and the heart. And I think that's why the show is what it is because it's about the truth, and it's about the connection, and it's about the humanity.
Mm.
Lion King
And
was
when
the first
you
ever
started, when
Broadway.
things started,
Guys, don't fight. Hey, guys, don't fight,
God,
please.
We're always
Go, Adam.
doing this. No, Lion King was the first show I ever saw on Broadway at the New Amsterdam, and it just
Oh, nice.
I got obsessed with it. I had the big like coffee table making of book afterwards. I listened to the CD all the time.
Nice.
I love that show. But no, it's so interesting what you're saying about theater, which is so different than TV and film, where TV and film, once you do it and that day is done, it's locked forever and you don't ever get to further explore it or, mold it based off of experience and things that are going on. So it's such a unique gift to get to play a role for several years. And as you live your life and things change, you can
Mhm.
find things in the character that can kind of be accentuated by your own life experiences. So it's always sort of evolving. And,
Exactly. I learned that I was the 10th Simba on Broadway.
wow,
10th. The show's been running for 25 years.
that's nuts.
like since
What kind
97.
of what kind of validation? What kind of validation was that for you as things started to form? Where you're like, okay, well, obviously things are working. I mean, when you were a kid and you thought that this was a possibility,
I
when
did? No,
things
I did not.
became
I did
what?
not. As a kid, I did not think this was a possibility.
Right.
I did not dream of I did not know how far I could go. I just knew that I enjoyed it. The rest,
Mhm.
like, this has been such a blessing and such a surreal experience. Like, to know that like a kid who suppressed it or sort of fought against it or didn't know how to fit in or sort of felt like an outcast sometimes was able to sort of use it and channel it and find chosen family, convince his real family, go through, a lot of, hardships and sort of risks to sort of find my happiness in the arts and find my place. I never knew this could happen, but I am so grateful and thankful for each opportunities. And it's it's it takes you back sometimes to think. And now I feel like it's my duty to show the little brown boys or the suppressed gay boys that they can be themselves and they can find their way. And there it is for them. There's a place. There's a place for you.
And there are
Too
so
many
many
people
more
don't feel that way,
possibilities than you know. To go
Yeah.
out into the world and do, whatever it is as a kid that thrills you, or, whether you're off daydreaming in class, it's like you can do that in real life. You can
Mhm.
go out into the world and make believe. It doesn't have to be.
However, do your homework, but like do your homework though.
Right.
But like do your homework. Hand in that assignment, please.
Are you
On time.
talking to your stuffed animals? Are these your action figures?
Yes, sit down. Do not
so
have more hall passes.
And so, Jelani, where was it when you got into High School Musical that where did your representation eventually come into the picture? How did that all fall into place?
Oh, you mean like my management?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that happened because they scouted me out at a summer program in New Jersey, and I was freelancing with them as a high schooler, and that's sort of how I
Wow.
got in touch with them. They kept tabs on me, and then sort of started sending me out for stuff.
That's amazing.
Man, they had you pegged from early on. That's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
No.
Signed him as a teen, but it just goes to
that's their
show,
job. That's their
even as you're young, a teenager, whatever you can do. There are some guys people that I was doing stuff with at 16, 17 that I still get to work with. I mean, it's so monumentally important when you're young to like hit it even hard. If wherever you grow up,
Mhm.
like if you didn't do this summer program, would you have gotten
No.
repped?
No.
If you didn't go up and sing the Star Spangled Banner, would you have gotten into the high school stuff, into the high school drama stuff?
Yes. Yes, I would have.
Well, I guess no, but like it's when you're young, you tend to think, and this is somebody who grew up in the Midwest, nowhere close to anywhere with a professional actor's career, and you did everything that you could with what you had in your limitations. And it's surprising that once you start doing things, there are people, even in those small little things that you're doing in high school, that will greatly affect your future, directly or indirectly.
You want to know what it was also is that I graduated with one other Black person in my school. So I had nobody to look up to around me that had the same passion as I did, or there was no sort of like, here you are. Other than the telly, the TV, I'd watch, comedians, or I'd see Michael Jackson, or I'd see things, but there was nobody like around that I could sort of look up to until community theater happened, and I got to see some really strong, talented Black artists do their thing. So I figured out, okay, well, I have to make a way for myself. I have to like kill him at kindness, kill him at comedy, be that guy, do it all, and make people smile, and that'll just keep at that. Keep fueling yourself with the goodness, and keep sort of keeping on. Especially among like feeling like I had to be best, be my best. I wanted to do that because there were so few of us. And I also had the support. I had the support with my friends. Like they were so gung ho about whatever I wanted to do, they would do it. And I come from a really strong, supportive community.
That's amazing. And pretty soon after that, you and I remember, I think you and we lived in the same neighborhood in Astoria, and I remember you and I talking a few times about what we're doing and what's on the burner right now, and this new show, The Temptations,
Boom.
was coming to town. And how did you get involved with that?
I auditioned to stay in shape. I was auditioning just to be seen, just to be in the room. And my buddy was actually part of the show, and he's like, "Yeah, you should audition, like, because they were hiring for the Broadway transfer." And I went in there and sang. Who doesn't know My Girl? You know, who doesn't know, you know, that. So I sang that. And they were like, great, 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 cool, cool, cool. Take these sides and go out into the hallway. And they gave me a bunch of different sides and did some cold readings and things. And I was terrified, but took a deep breath and said, okay, you just have to hit the marks, like go through the marks and see it. And it's a big monologue. It's okay. Take your time with it. And you don't have to be perfect, but how can they see you? You don't have to
Yeah.
be perfect, but how can they see that? How just be yourself and take a deep breath and try and just, that's the thing about my auditions is that I don't want to stress about being perfect, but I do want to try my best to make sure that I feel like I'm myself and we're connected, because then I feel like good about the audition. Because sometimes nerves do your worst, or like you try to be what you think they want you to be, or something like that, and it's like, okay, but what about me? Like that's not sustainable, you know? Or like
Yeah.
the best auditions are when I feel like, wow, okay, we were connected, we were in the room together. I feel good about it. They saw Jelani.
Takes a lot of experience to get to that place where, I mean, that's a good actor. It's not about the performing, it's about knowing I just have to be me and show me and be
You
in the
know,
moment, be present, listen. You know,
because
these things that,
I
you know,
failed doing the other way.
right,
I failed being like, oh, I could sing the song because that's what they probably want to hear. Or like I
right.
failed like just tripping on myself because I wasn't breathing, and I was trying to be something I shouldn't be, or being, hello everyone, no, that's not it.
Right.
You know, it's it was trial and error for sure. But like you got to turn that trial and error into a triumph. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You got to sort of like figure out what's going to work for you and what you can do, what you need work on. And in that audition specifically, I felt comfortable because I was like, okay, they want to see more. I'm already in. You know what I mean? That's a win.
Yep.
So let's keep going. And found out I booked to be a standby, which was exciting for me because I promised myself that out of the jungle, you may say, that I would continue to do anything new, because this is my first time actually in the city doing things, because I've been in my sort of beautiful Lion King family for so long. Like I was going to get out and see what Jelani can do and keep doing new things. And you got to sort of prove yourself, and you've got to work your way up again, because yes, you did it in one community, but now you got to sort of build up again. Like nothing is promised and nothing is just served. You have to work for it. You know, you have to, in my mind, I was starting fresh, even though I'm old. You know what I mean? I was starting fresh and like starting at entry level even. So you know what I mean? Like, so
And
I wanted to be open to do that.
I think a lot of actors forget to bring themselves into something, because at the end of the day, sure, you could crush the scene or the song, but at the end of the day, they want to work. You're going to have a relationship together, working together. They want to know that we love Jelani because we are going to be working
Mhm.
with Jelani, hopefully for a very long time. So you want to bring yourself into the equation where they go, yes, you did an amazing job on the sides and the audition, but we also love you because we are going to
Mhm.
be working with you. So when you bring yourself into it, it's, I think a lot of times we forget that it is a working relationship, and that, you know, we as actors are only still a small part of a much larger machine, and we all have to get along and work together. And it is a really important part of the aspect. But I think we too often find ourselves just wanting to be perfect and not bring ourselves also into the work, which is really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if there's a nervous actor that comes into audition and they're just nervous and they're the actor and they're doing the scene and then they're done and they're like, "Great, thank you very much." Well, the creative team didn't get to see who that was. They saw a good actor, but they're going to work with you. You're going to perform 2 hours a night. That's it. But what about what about rehearsals and the tour and the road and being in the same room together for days, weeks, months on end? I think that's such a great bit of advice to bring yourself, your unique self, and allow them to see you, because like it's just like any other job interview. Don't they want to know that you might have like a great GPA, but you got to be a nice guy in the office. You got to be like a, somebody enjoyable. And when you've kind of mastered yourself, I think that's when things start rolling. You have just this inner confidence, this conviction of I'm good enough. I have something to bring,
But
and
also I
that's why.
want to be here, and you want to
Yeah,
be there, you know?
yeah.
I want to be there. I love the process. I love the evolution, and I love the feedback even. You know, I love that. As much as I love doing the show, I love rehearsal. Well,
Hmm.
do I? Yes, I do. Because I do love rehearsal because that's where we get to play, and that's where we get to sort of, strip it down from the glitz and glam and see what's underneath.
And so you're talking a lot about theater and the process and all that stuff. What about on camera? Is that something that you are doing, that you want to do, or is your kind of bread and butter live performance theater?
I do love live theater, because I feel like on camera I look like Carol Channing. Like it's
You
just
look
so
great
big.
right now, so I don't know
It's just
what you're.
it's just so big because for the theater you want to project to the back of the house, you know what I mean? So on camera it's very different.
It
Like
is very different.
so it's a nice, it's a different adjustment, and it's a different world, and I'm getting better and better at it. But I want to find a show that's for me. No, that's not true. I do think it's a great thing to be a versatile actor and to get good at all aspects of it. But my heart is always on stage.
Mm. So what's next for you? What is something that you're
Like
kind of
today
looking
or like in
for? Yeah,
general?
are you going to have some lunch after or no,
I'm actually
what what do you want to after this whole COVID thing, once things start to release
well, let
and
me tell
open
you,
up, what's happening?
this whole sort of experience has opened up doors of what else makes you happy, what else can you do, and we
Yeah.
talked about the TV and film thing, but I've gotten a real joy in directing, and I've gotten a real joy of creating like my own content. So I've done cabarets, like my and I've written a story out to tell through the cabaret, and I've gotten to perform cabarets online, and I've gotten to do some socially distanced concerts as well. And it's me
Amazing.
sort of making my like Broadway Spotify playlist of music, and of songs that I can never sing in a show, but like you're gonna listen to it tonight. Um,
That's incredible. Of
yeah,
course you
and it's
will.
it's been so nice to connect and to sort of share things and to do that. And I've also gotten to direct some content, some online content of for Broadway Cares, who's our savior,
Yeah.
really does wonderful stuff with helping us out. And they've given me such a great foundation to sort of put together a benefit show with a theme and cast it the way I want to. And the way I want to is to cast it how I see the world: colorful, shapely, different sizes, different, all different people doing their thing and putting it together so like the audience gets to see a beautiful display of artistry. And we're also helping people in the meantime. So we got to raise a bunch of money, and my friends got to be seen. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the friends that I even knew in college that wrote a musical that I believed in. They got to share their work, or
Hmm.
like my trans friend that is a beautiful artist. She got to do her work. My up and coming, beautiful singer got to do her thing. And my dancer friends got to showcase their choreography. Like it was a sort of variety show because our community is a variety and is diverse, and I want to always give a platform to that because that is what the future should be. That is what our community is. So I'm happy that I got to have the head decision as to, okay, I know you do this, do that, pull that out, and I got to create a cohesive sort of show, and it was wonderful.
That's
How
amazing.
exciting is it for someone like you who grew up the way you did, that to know that things are changing and that there are people now who have every reason to believe that they can be on that stage or in that show regardless of the color of their skin, their beliefs, their sexual orientation, whatever. How wonderful is that feeling to you now? And being so still early on in your career, you've got so much time to know that it's going our way.
How does it feel? Great, but it also is a great responsibility because now I have the keys to sort of form my own, to form it and to be part of the solution and to be part of this band of people wanting to change, wanting to make change and create platforms and to create safe spaces for our brothers and sisters to thrive and to really change people's minds that maybe didn't think about it before, or to just pull up, come on, let's go let's do this all together. And I think that it's great to watch, but it's more so even better to be a part of.
That's wonderful. And how can we see this Broadway Cares variety show? Is that available?
Oh, it was streaming. Where were you? I've been posting about it,
Son
Tommy.
of a bitch.
I've been posting about it.
You'll have to do it again.
I'll do lots more, because it was such a great experience for me to sort of sink my teeth into, put my director hat on, you know?
Right. That's awesome. So do you think you're going to start directing as your career unfolds?
I would love to. So now I'm sort of doing these online things with schools and helping them with their musicals. So I get to sort of do that and sort of, I'm like Dr. Do a lot.
Not do little. Not do little.
Do a lot. Okay. And give these kids, these next generation performers, that's a shove with love into the spotlight, and to pull out that performance, and to pull out that, you know, and to see what's in there.
And
isn't that
Jelani,
cool that
that
like high schoolers now can just a Zoom video? Oh, sorry, Adam. I'm going to finish.
You guys fight. I hate when you guys fight.
Listen, he starts it. Isn't it great that high schoolers now have the access to Zoom calls where like they can learn from anybody in the business? It seems like the next generation is going to be more.
Depending on where they are in the world, yes, because the time change is real, and it's for sure. But also, like one of the minuses of this thing is that you're accessible anytime. You know, people there's no like office hours anymore. You know, and it's like but it is, you're absolutely right. It is a wonderful thing.
And Jelani, was it the directing and everything? Was that something that you always sort of, oh my gosh, had in the back of your head as like, maybe one day I would like to do that, but you know, you're on stage and then COVID gave you that opportunity where you're like, well, I think maybe now I have that opportunity.
I've dabbled in it. I've dabbled in it a little bit, you know, as I told you about my classroom back in the day. And but also like choreographing has definitely helped me, you know. But I've done little things here and there, but this was a time where I had not much to do. And so why not do that thing? Why not do that thing? And especially to help people, and in turn it helped me, because it gave me something to look forward to. It gave me a different sense of purpose. It gave me a different sense of, you know, a sense of urgency to create and to work for this. And it totally fed my soul and my sort of my theatrical hunger.
Yeah. It's wonderful. So fascinating, you know, with COVID, you know, Tommy and I used to always talk, well, a year ago, you know, used to talk about, you know, in the arts, you know, you never have a period of time where everything shuts down and goes away, and you're sort of forced to have time to yourself and maybe reevaluate things and think, well, you know, now that I have time to do X, Y, and Z, what if I actually started that script or got
A,
into
B,
this?
And C.
Yeah, you know, because
X, Y, and Z. We start A, B, and C.
So go, and we never are like given that allowance of time where it's like, yeah, you literally can't go to theater or do film, or, you know, everything shuts down. And so I wonder what's going to come out of artistically this last year, you know, when things start to come back, you know, if there's going to be a lot of actors and artists and whoever who's like, yeah, during that time off, I created this because I had the time for the first time ever to get to it. And I actually, you know, I've been wanting to, but I thought, oh, that'll be down the line. Then, you know, it gives you that allowance to go out and maybe do things that weren't always the most comfortable, but you created something because you could.
And you know, I did an interview last week about that, and I think the Tonys this year, because they don't have as many entries, they should have been looking at our online content and maybe do like a recognition on the works that their people have been doing. You know, like I thought that could have been a great creative way to sort of keep everybody, you know, involved.
That's a great point. I wonder if they'll do that. Or is that a dialogue that people are no?
I don't think so.
Is that not something that they want to do?
I don't know. You got to talk to Tony.
All right, I'll talk to him. I don't know.
Him and Oscar. Gosh.
Well, Jelani, We thank you so very much for
This
being
was so
here.
great.
I know there's a lot of people out there who can benefit so much from your wisdom and your experience. So thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure.
And Jelani, where can people
And
find
I
you
love the
online?
blue on blue. Looks great.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, they can't see me this. So they don't know I'm wearing blue.
They will.
They will? Oh. For those of you who don't know, you can find me on Instagram at It's Jelani Remy. That's ITSJELANIREMY.
Lovely. Jelani, thank you so much. We appreciate you being
Thank you.
Book it.
And is there any sort of a parting wisdom you would like to give out to young or aspiring actors, performers?
Run and tell yourself that you love yourself, because you are enough. That you are enough, and you have to realize that what makes you you is what makes you you.
Very well said.
Well
Thank
said.
you so much, Jelani.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe for more. Get real actor coaching by real working actors. Get signed with Agent Genie and get inspired with our podcast before the break. Check us out at bookitnyc.com and see why we're the #1 resource for all working actors. Hey, Padfoot?